Hello, and welcome back to our study of Peninei Halacha, the teachings of Rabbi Eliezer Melamed Shlita. Here we are, Sof Shavua, getting ready for Shabbos, Parshas Tzav, Parshas Para. We continue to learn, and please daven for Chaylei Tzva Agana Yisrael, Kol Chola Yisrael, safe return of our hostages, and again, our learning is dedicated in memory of Saran Daniel Shimon Ben Harav Daron V'Sheli Hashem Yakum Damo. On my social media feed and to some people in our shul, I sent out a video that Rav Daron just put out from Mizrahi at Dvar Torah and Tzav, which is just absolutely incredible, showing such emunah and strength. And I wrote to Rav Daron that it's still Purim Mitzvah Hapachu, because we should be comforting him and he is the one who is comforting us. But just to show you the real godless that exists there, and as I keep saying, that people in Israel are just on another level, something we should aspire to. So let's finish our week of learning, and we'll go into Shabbos, hopefully in a good Torah way. Dina Demalchusa Dina Eretz Yisrael. She'ila Merkazis Yeshna. So we have a central question. Al Ezer Malchus Nemer Haklal Dina Demalchusa Dina. When we say that you have to follow the rule of the land, what type of rulership are we discussing? Hayim al kol malchus bein malchus bechutz la'aretz bein ba'aretz bein shel Yehudim bein shel Goyim or sharak legabi malchus shebechutz la'aretz nemer haklal shedineihem din. Does this apply anywhere, whether it's in the diaspora in Israel, Jewish or non-Jewish, or does this only apply to, let's say, when we're living under foreign rule and we don't control our own community, so to speak? So in the Rishonim we have the dispute on this. Ladas haran v'harashba. So according to the Ran and Rashba, the principle of Dina Demalchusa Dina only applies when you're under foreign rule outside of Israel. Because the foundational strength of this king or this rulership, in order to be able to establish laws, is based on the fact that the king controls, or this government controls the land because they conquered it. Because only through their rule of law, because they've conquered it and they control it and they keep everyone else out, that's how they're able to control and establish laws. So if therefore somebody is interested in living in such a place under this rulership, so then you have to accept the rules. So if you want to live in a certain country, and that country is established by the fact that they conquered it and they have established the borders, etc., and they have the ability to make laws, so then you choose to live there, you have to follow the laws. And if you're not interested in keeping the laws that they have in that particular country, then you have to find somewhere else to live. It makes no difference whether we're talking about a king or a government. And therefore a Jew who lives in any democratic place has to follow the laws because of this principle. But this is only applying to the diaspora. Because in the diaspora, any given land under any given rulership is subject to the ruler of that time. But when we talk about Israel, well, that was given to the Jewish nation. And there's no any other kingship that's not Jewish that could throw us out of there. So there no king or kingship has ownership over the land, since it's God-given to the Jewish people. So if a certain kingship comes in Israel and the Jewish nation doesn't want to accept it, according to the Ran and the Rashba, you don't have to follow it in Israel. Ulam, Rov HaRishon V'Socham Rambam. So you could just imagine the difficulty and the dispute on this because of what that could lead to, the aforementioned Shita, that position. But the Rambam and many other Rishonim, they disagree with this. They say there's no difference between Israel or anywhere else. And any place where there is a king or a government and they establish laws, then you have to follow them. שהיסוד של Dina Demalchusa Dina אינו תלוי בבעלות על הקרקע, אלא הוא נשען על הסכם הציבורית למלכוס, שבעצם זה שהציבור אינו מוריד מהפלס השלטון, הרי הוא מסכים לקבל את עצמו על כל החוקים שהוא מחוקק. The reason of Dina Demalchusa Dina has nothing to do with who owns or controls the land, but it's a general acceptance of the public or of the citizenship that they are not rebelling or trying to overthrow this government, and in that sense, then what happens de facto, they're accepting the laws and the rulership of that government. And therefore it makes no difference where you are, whether you're in Israel or elsewhere. And then, of course, in Israel, the laws of the government or the malchus are obligatory so long as they're not going against the Torah. Again, you can imagine the complications that come from this as well. וכן גם נפסק להלכה על פי רוב הפוסקים שגם בארץ ישראל חל הכלל של Dina Demalchusa Dina וכן פסק השולחן ערוך וכן פסקו אחרוני זמננו. So based on this second shita, most of the poskim and the Shulchan Aruch and all the Acharonim, they all hold that Dina Demalchusa Dina applies in Israel as well. L'dasa Chasam Sofer, and according to the Chasam Sofer, afil haran v'harashba yodo shagam be'eretz Yisrael chayivim l'shalim misim b'tam Dina Demalchusa Dina. According to the Chasam Sofer, that even according to the first opinion of the Ran and the Rashba that says Dina Demalchusa Dina does not apply in Israel, you would still be obligated to pay taxes. Ki l'dasa Chasam Sofer kol ma she'amru shein chayivim l'shalim be'eretz misim l'melech u'mishum shelo b'shuso en anugarim ba'aretz ela b'shus haborei. According to that opinion, when we say that you don't have to pay to a king, it's because maybe he doesn't have permission to control the land of Israel. It's only in the rishus of God. You would say then, well, if he's ruling and it's not God-given, then we don't have to follow his rules. We don't have to pay taxes. So that's if the king is collecting the taxes for his own personal use, so he could beautify his palace and fill his coffers. However, if the taxes are for the public good, for building roads and infrastructure, etc., whatever taxes are used for, for security, education, and infrastructure, then certainly everyone has to pay. And he quotes from the Tzitz Eliezer from Waldenberg, very strong words. If a person does not pay his taxes in Israel, even if you disagree with the Memshalah and you don't think it's Torah given, nevertheless, you violate Dina Demalchusa Dina, and you're also considered as if you are stealing from the community. So, very, very clear position here about the necessity to follow the rules, even in Israel, according to those poskim, and those who disagree with that, even so, would still have to pay the taxes. An event, thank you for learning again with us this week. Please continue davening Tzvah Agana Yisrael, Chol Yisrael, safe return of all of our hostages. Please learn something extra over Shabbos. Ili Nishmas, Seren, Daniel Shimon ben Harav Daron, Visheli, Hashem Yakum Damo. And I wish everyone a peaceful and restful Shabbos. We'll see you next week.